Good morning. Good morning. I know, chat. I know. I had the wrong camera up. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Rants About Tech Live for this Thursday, August 7th. We're making it through the week. We got a few things to talk about here today as far as some breaking news. I think there's a presentation going on right now with OpenAI and ChatGPT. So we're going to talk about some early leaks about that presentation here today. I'm your host, Rod, here in Philadelphia, sunny Philadelphia today. I'm going to get outside. We'll talk about it here today. We got a national holiday that I'm in love with today, so we're going to talk about that as well. How you guys doing out there today? I hope you're enjoying your weather in your part of the world or country, wherever you are. I can't see who's in the chat today. Jack says, I confirm the Norris Digital Jumbo CrystalNib is perfect. I put the regular CrystalNib in a Lamy and it's great as well. Nice. On the Lamy Samsung pen and the Boox LT pen. Nice, Parm. I appreciate that. Thanks for the feedback, you guys. We're going to talk about some CrystalNib stuff too. We're going to talk about some feedback I got about one of the nibs that I wanted to give a PSA about. So we're going to talk about that as well. But first up, let's talk about some of the holidays for the day. What we got here? Holidays for the day, we got International Beer Day. International Beer Day. If you're a beer drinker. Oh, am I live? Oh, did I go live already? I think I did. I think we're good. The live is sorely behind today. So if you're commenting or anything like that, I appreciate you. But the live is behind. Also, not only is the live behind, the chat is wonky today. So what we're gonna get through the live today. We're just trying to get through the live today and get this in the books because I'm having multiple issues, super lag, and if the voice is off, you guys let me know in the chat as well. But the chat window is not working today, so we won't have the chat visible, and I'm delayed a little bit. So just keep that in mind, chat, and let me know how this is playing out. I am keeping track in the chat here. On a separate window, but we won't be able to see that in the live chat view here. So I apologize about that, you guys. We'll be back with the live chat for tomorrow. What else we got here? National Disc Golf Day. National Disc Golf Day. So if you play disc golf, and I do, you guys know I'm a big disc golf player. I'll be playing disc golf today for National Disc Golf Day. So yeah, enjoy some disc golf if you partake at all. National Lighthouse Day. I mean, sailors got to find their way home. Sirens have to know which way to go to shore to sing their mesmerizing songs for people lost in the water. It's a good holiday. Lighthouse Day. Okay, here we go. So again, thank you guys for joining me today. We're going to get into the tech stories here in a second, but one thing I wanted to say, I met Nick yesterday. Nick, I think he's NH in the chat. Whenever he's in the chat. So I appreciate you coming up to meet me in person there, Nick. It was a pleasure meeting you. It was just cool meeting someone that you interact with on YouTube. And I think he's in Discord too. So that was an awesome experience. So I like to point that out whenever I get a chance to meet someone who watches the show. What else we got here? Let's go ahead and check the tech stories out for today, shall we? All right, so first up we got here is ChatGPT 5 leaks. So if you're keeping up, like I said, they have a presentation going on right now. But we're going to peek in on some information I got about, how are we looking here? Are we looking good? So peeking on some information I got about a leak that happened. So ChatGPT 5 accidentally leaks hours before OpenAI reveals the future of ChatGPT. So 4 new models are coming. Let me move this over here. We got 4 new models that are coming. The next generation of ChatGPT, titled ChatGPT 5, is expected to be revealed later today in an OpenAI live stream, but a leak on GitHub appears to have revealed everything the AI pioneers will unveil during the event. The leaked information appeared on GitHub, highlighting the different iterations of ChatGPT 5, which is described as OpenAI's most advanced model. I mean, they're all like described as their most. Anyway, offering major improvements in reasoning, code quality, and user experience. The GitHub blog leak has since been taken down, but can be easily accessed via the Internet Archive. What do we got here? So the post highlights are the following 4 models. or the post that highlights the following 4 models. GPT-5 designed for logic and multi-step tasks. We got GPT-5 Mini, a lightweight version for cost-sensitive applications. We've got GPT-5 Nano, optimized for speed and ideal for applications requiring low latency. And we also have ChatGPT-5 Chat, designed for advanced, natural, multimodal, and context-aware conversations for enterprise applications. And then they're going to have demos of this today, so you can check that out if you'd like. I think the link will be in the description for the story, so you can just hit the link and it'll take you to that. We expect to get more information on these new models during today's live stream, which begins at 10 p.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and 6 p.m. BST. What is BST? Chat, help me out. So my mistake. It's not going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern time. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So we got a few hours if you're on the East Coast. While none of the models in the leak seem to hint at a simplified structure, we're hoping for, I'm still optimistic that ChatGPT users in a future where OpenAI's complex naming scheme isn't a point of friction for end users. Sam Altman has promised that ChatGPT's future will see all models incorporated under a single interface, with the AI able to determine which functionality to use based on the user's prompt. While this leak doesn't appear to point to that change, Altman might explain how and when that will happen later today. All right, so ChatGPT 5 coming later on today. Just some heads up about the different models they're going to be releasing. About 5 of them apparently. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's super interesting. In the chat, Aaron says, I'm on a plane on the way to Philly. I want to visit this portal. Check out the portal. Definitely check out the portal, Aaron. The portal's cool. And good morning to you. And good morning, Palm. And good morning, Jack, to you as well. Good morning to any other chat crew that's in the chat right now. I can't see everybody while I'm doing it like I normally would, so I have to look at a different screen here. Don't forget to check out that coffee shop I hinted at yesterday in the Discord, Aaron. Thank you. It's a really good spot. And like I said, it's by Washington Square, which is a really awesome spot to hang out and catch some views of Philadelphia if you're just into, oh boy. Okay, phew. If you're just into catching the vibes of the Philadelphia area, that's a good way to do it there. Let's go back over here. All right, so what else we got here? Let's check out the next story we got on tap here. OpenAI, or not OpenAI, but it's all of the companies here are having a 0-click vulnerability that's not being it's not being exploited just yet, but it's something that's not theoretical, as we'll see here in a second. My note died. It's not theoretical, as we'll see here in a second. Let's go ahead and check out the story here. All right, so are we on here? Yeah, here we go. All right, so this is a OpenAI agent 0-click vulnerability. Basically, this comes out of the Black Hat conference that took place yesterday. This vulnerability was pointed out by Zen co-founder and CTO Michael Bargery. And Zenity is a company that was founded by ex-Microsoft, Meta, and Unit 8200 engineers. I'm not sure about Unit 8200, but I know that the pedigree from Microsoft and Meta is pretty good, so this company must be pretty decent. Tools include ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and more as far as the tools that are being exploited in this AI agent vulnerability here. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the examples we have up here for this. Here we go. So for some examples of what we have, some vulnerabilities that they uncovered for OpenAI ChatGPT was compromised via email triggered prompt injection, granting attackers access to connected Google Drive accounts and the ability to implant malicious memories, compromise every future session, and transform ChatGPT into a malicious agent. Not light stuff here. Again, these are things that are. These are not theoretical, as Michael Bergery points out here. These are all vulnerabilities that can that can be exploited, and as they are proving here in this report. A Microsoft Copilot Studio customer service agent showcased by Microsoft on stage was shown to leak entire CRM databases. Additionally, they found over 3,000 of those agents in the wild that can reveal their internal tools, making them susceptible to exploitation. Salesforce Einstein was manipulated through malicious case creation to en route all customer communications to attacker-controlled email addresses. Google Gemini and Microsoft 365 Copilot were turned into malicious insiders, social engineering users, and exfiltrating sensitive communications through booby-trapped emails and calendar invites. And lastly, we got Cursor with Jira MCP, which basically is a piece of software or software that uses agents to do, or uses an agent to control other agents, essentially, was exploited to harvest developer credentials through weaponized ticket workflows. So these are things that can get serious really quickly. And I thought it was very interesting that they were being brought out. Now, all of these attacks haven't been patched. Like, the bigger companies are patching these vulnerabilities, right? I mean, you're looking at Microsoft and OpenAI. They're patching these vulnerabilities already. Other companies not so quick to patch them for whatever reason. But I thought it was interesting to get out there and make you guys aware of what's kind of going on in the AI agent vulnerability. And these are all, I think these are all browser centric vulnerabilities, but that's not to say they can't be Sony. Not to say they can't be exploited in other ways. All right, next thing we got up here is going to be something a little simpler. Roku. So Roku Howdy. I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this. I hadn't at the time when I was looking through this, but anytime I can get a cheaper streaming service that may or may not be good, and for $3, I mean, it might be worth a try. So what is Howdy? Explaining Roku's new ad-free streaming service. So we have, on August 5th, Roku launched an ad-free streaming service called Howdy, which for $2.99 a month is expected to deliver 10,000 hours of content and thousands of movies and television shows from Warner Brothers, Discovery, Lionsgate, and FilmRise, along with select titles from Roku Originals. The new subscription video on-demand service will run alongside the free ad-supported Roku channel and adds to Roku's growing content lineup. According to the statement released by Roku, Howdy is designed to meet consumers where they are, providing content they love with no interruptions on an accessible and affordable service. I think this is cool. Like I said, for $3, it's not that. How did I get cats in here? I left my door open. You guys are lucky. You're so lucky. I'm doing a live stream right now. I would be chasing you out of here. I may have cats in here running around randomly. But I think this is cool. Anytime you can get a streaming service that's not expensive to try, I mean, it may be worth the try just for, it's only $3. So especially in a world where streaming services are getting ridiculously high, I think $3 is super accessible and acceptable for me, for real. All right, what else we got here? I think that is the end of the tech news. Let's go ahead and go into the chat real quick, shall we? Again, we don't have the live chat up here like we would normally have it up here. I'm having a problem with the chat, but I can see the chat here. And the chat's consistent. So we'll go on to the eInk section of the show, shall we? All right, so eInk. And I don't have a lot of eInk news. There hasn't been a lot of that going about other than just like self-created news. But, oh boy, let's get back here. But I did want to talk about a couple of things I noticed on some devices that I have. And I guess we'll start off with the CrystalNib here because that's one of the things that a lot of people want to know about. So I want to pass on some information about the CrystalNib. Thank you to anyone who has one, and thank you for the feedback I'm getting. And it's been pretty overwhelmingly positive feedback, but I want to share also the not so good feedback because you got to do both sides here. And this is all about making the thing better, right? This is about getting as much feedback as possible and responding to it as best we can. So this is where we're at right now. So I've gotten 4 bits of feedback so far. 3 have been overwhelmingly positive. The 2 today make that 5 overwhelmingly positive, and then 1 we have that's not positive. So what happened was one of the chat members, Buck, put a cap on his. I guess the nib was sticking out too far. So I'm gonna demonstrate this really quickly. We gotta get the we gotta get the camera ready, chat. Oh, where is it at? Did we? Okay, there we go. Wrong one. Okay, there we go. Good to go. All right, so just to demonstrate this really quickly, I'm gonna grab another one. I'm gonna grab 2 of the different nibs to kind of demonstrate this thing and to put it out there so that maybe one of you out there may experience the same thing, and I'll show why I never thought this would be an issue, but all use cases are what we're trying to get. So here we go. So this is the CrystalNib and the Lamy I have right here, and let me turn these lights out over here. Okay, so this is the CrystalNib and the Lamy here. And as you can see, it doesn't stick out that far. And that's one of the things about me in designing this particular nib and the dimensions that I did, is that I didn't want it to stick out very far. For one of the very reasons I'm going to mention here today is putting a cap on. So you don't want the nib to stick out so far that when you put a cap on, it's hitting the top of the cap. Now, the Supernote nib that I have on the site sticks out a little bit further than this. We're gonna take these out so we can take a look here. So the Supernote nib, I got 2 here. So we got the CrystalNib and we have the Supernote nib side by side here. And what can we put this on? We'll put it on here. There we go. I guess that makes it a little better to see. All right, so CrystalNib this is the CrystalNib here on the right, my right, and this is the Supernote ceramic nib on the left. Let's see if I can get down here a little further. Oh boy, we can. We can. All right, so these are the 2 nibs here. As you can see, this Supernote nib sticks out further from the tip of the sheath than the CrystalNib does. And that was, like I said, that was purposeful. I wanted it to fit the sheath better. And if you got the tip sticking out too far, I find that it just pushes your hand further away. I just wanted enough of the nib to be sticking out to give you some friction, and it helps with stability, right? The closer the tip is to the head of the sheath, the more stability you have. So anyway, I designed it that way, and it sticks out less. Now, this nib right here, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there. Even though it sticks out less, I'm gonna go ahead and put this ceramic nib here. This is Supernote ceramic right here, by the way. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. So this Supernote ceramic right here, as you can see, this is how far it sticks out there. It sticks out a little bit further, but even with that, it doesn't bother the cap. So it's not long, so long that you can't put the cap on, right? And I've sold many of these, and I haven't had a problem with anyone complaining about the cap hitting the tip. Again, not to say that it can't happen, but I haven't had that problem yet. But Buck had a problem with the CrystalNib in that when he put the CrystalNib in, we'll change this out here. This is the CrystalNib here. When he put the CrystalNib in, and then he went to put the top on, it crushed the nib. So, I guess the point here is, if you have the CrystalNib, if it is sticking out, which it shouldn't stick out far at all. But if you notice it sticking out too far and you have a Lamy or a pin that you're putting a cap on, just be aware of how far it's sticking out, and take care that it doesn't take the pressure of you putting the cap on and snapping it on, right? That's going to cause some damage to it. Now, again, with this, this process is very new, right? And because it's very new, it's going to have some growing pains. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to sell a limited batch of these first, because it's easy to fix 30 problems. It's a lot harder to fix 300 problems, right? So that's one of the reasons for the limited run of these. And just to make sure that I can correct and fix any problem that comes up, as far as anybody being unhappy with what it is and if these don't work out like I want them to. Because you never know until you get them into a wide range of people's hands and they use them in ways that you don't use them. I know I've been using this one for months now and haven't had any problems. But like I said, that's just my personal use case. So take care if you're putting a cap on the stylus, that the nib is not going to hit the top of the cap. So just one instance of that, something I wanted to pass along, make everyone aware of. Now, along with that, if anyone, I'm offering a refund to Buck for the nib, and that's another reason to keep the runs low, because these are problems that I can handle. If for whatever reason everyone wanted a refund for the nibs, I don't see that being the case. But if that were the case, that would be something that's my plan to do, right? The plan here was to get these into as many hands as possible to test. And if it didn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it did, great. We can move forward with the material, with the hardness that we have, and everything's fine. If not, we just go back to the drawing board. I try to get the material adjusted to where we can increase the hardness. That's going to increase the price, but if I increase the quantity that I'm buying, that kind of like levels the playing field out for the price. So the price won't increase for that. So that's something that I can work on, right? But I have to get the information and the feedback to know what's going on and how people are using them in order to make those kind of changes. Maybe we need to increase the purity, right? Because increasing purity of particular materials increases the durability and the hardness. But also increasing the purity increases the cost, right? So there's a balance to be struck here, and that's where we're at now, trying to find the balance. And getting this feedback is super valuable, especially with something that's not being done and no one's doing right now. There's going to be hiccups, but just know that if you do have one, the response you're going to get from me if something doesn't go well is, would you like a refund? No questions asked. So that's something that, like I said, that's in my plan to do for people. That's always been a part of the plan. And I think I made that clear even with the ceramic nibs from Supernote. I tell people, like, if you want a refund, you just let me know. No questions asked. I have no problem with that. So keep that in mind if you have one. I'm glad they're working out for the people that they are working out for. Let's go to the chat real quick. We have the Rock in here. Thanks for Rock for showing up. Appreciate you. Does the Supernote nib hit the cap? Can tell if you put the cap on and move it next to eInk, it will register a stroke. Oh, okay. Let's check it out. I've never had, like I said, I've sold lots of these Lamys with the Supernote nib in it, and I've never had anyone complain about the nib hitting the top, which is why I wanted to pass that along, because I just didn't think it was possible to do. But since I'm finding out it is possible to do, I wanted everyone to know that. Oh, let's take this out. So we're putting the ceramic in here, or the Supernote in here, to see if the Supernote nib hits the cap, and we'll see. According to the Rock be having some good ideas. I'm not gonna hold you. All right, so we got it here. Let's get a new page. So interesting. So it doesn't act as a pen, so you can't write, but it acts as a finger. And I wonder if it does that without the cap. Oh, it does do that without the pen in there. So that doesn't change anything. So no. So the nib, the Supernote nib doesn't get close to the cap because it won't write and it won't control the tablet at all. So the Supernote nib, being longer than the CrystalNib, doesn't interfere with doesn't hit the end of the cap, and it doesn't interfere with the tablet. So the Supernote, so the CrystalNib should be A-okay, but just because it's happened, I wanted to pass that along to make sure that anyone knows if it's sticking out and it's looking like it's sticking out too far, take it out and just try to reseat it because it's probably not seated properly. Just something to keep an eye on. Let me put the CrystalNib back in here. And like I said, these things are swappable. So you can just hot swap them. I think someone in the chat already said that they put it in about 3 or 4 different pins and it worked out perfectly. So even the Norris works out well. So, and I think I'm not gonna hold you. I think the CrystalNib works probably the best in the Norris. I don't know why. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my Lamy and I love how it feels in the Lamy, but there's just something about the dark, because the line darkness on the Norris is darker than what the Lamy produces. The Lamy produces more variation and more degrees of line thickness, so it's better for drawing. But if you just want a more consistent line, the Norris Digital Jumbo writes a really good line, and with the CrystalNib, man, it feels so good. Like if you have a Norris Digital Jumbo and you're using the nib that comes with it, do yourself a favor, okay? Get rid of that trash. Go with a POM material nib if you don't want to use a ceramic. But man, you will notice a world of difference getting rid of that standard Norris Digital Jumbo nib. Trash. Straight trash. What do we got here? Aaron says, that CrystalNib you removed from the Lamy. I need that one. LOL. I got you, Aaron. I got you. The Rock says, also your nib has a larger radius, so it will be a braid. And I don't know what that is. An e-ink screen surface less. Well designed. Oh, well, thank you. That was one of the points too. Precision and surface friction. Less of it. The Rock says, oh, chat is disabled. I guess we can start ragging on Ratta. No, chat is disabled in the live. I can still see you guys. I can still see you. I like that credit card size nib removal tool. Ain't it nice? Where did I get this from? I've mentioned this tool on many occasions. This is a Penstar tool. Now, this tool, I was talking about this tool in a video. A braid equal friction surface smoothing. Oh, I'm learning something today. Thanks, The Rock. So, I showed this thing on a live once before, and somebody in the comments was like, "Oh, bro, Remarkable has one of those too." Because I thought Penstar was the only company who did that, and someone was like, "Remarkable did it too," and then some other company put it, but none of them work like this. Matter of fact, I would go so far as to say none of them actually work other than this. Like I've tried them all, and yeah, they have them, but they're small and they don't have this metal thing here that really catches on to the nib. That little pinchy thing, trash. This right here is the way to go. And it holds some nibs right here. You know what I'm saying? You can throw some nibs in there. It's great. I love it. But yeah, that's the CrystalNib story. I gotta find out where I took this from. Oh, here we go. So that's the CrystalNib story there. And I hope everyone is enjoying them. But continued feedback. If you guys have one, definitely get feedback to me any way you want to. You can hit me up at feedback@rantsaboutTech.com. You can hit me up at rod@rantsaboutTech.com. You can hit me up at rantsaboutTech at gmail.com. You can hit me up in the comments here. Discord link in the description. If you want to join the Discord, hit me up there. You can do that as well. Lots of ways to give me feedback. But yeah, definitely give me the feedback if you have any good or bad. We're talking about it all here. All right, but so far, overwhelmingly good. We're good to continue to move on. All right, what else we have here on the e-ink front? Boox move delete notes issue. So I wanted to bring up something that I realized the other day with Boox. A issue that I found in the Notes app. So let me kind of explain that. Let me back up here a little bit first. So when you're on the Boox platform, say you have, let's get out of here. Say you have, I have a template here, right? Where's the template? Oh, I thought I had a template. I do. Here we go. I have a live stream template here, right? Now, if I were to go into this live stream template and say I wanted to copy something, and I go in and I want to copy these 2 pages here. Say I want to copy these 2 pages. So I go to copy to because I want to copy them to a different notebook. So I go to copy to, and let's just say we'll copy it to there. Oh no, we won't. Copy to, and we'll just copy it to today's live stream. All right, so I'm copying it to today's live stream to another document. So basically, I'm taking some pages from one document, I'm copying those pages to a separate document. So that's what I'm doing here. So that's completed. So we're gonna go back to where I copied them at. So this is where I copied those 2 pages. So we're gonna open the pages view here, and at the end, page 9 and 10 should be those 2 pages I copied, and they are. So these last 2 pages are the pages that I just copied into this notebook. Now this is the problem here. If you were to go and select those 2 pages to move them into the position you want them to be in, because it automatically puts those 2 pages at the end of that notebook, but that's not necessarily where you would want them to be. If you want to move them to the point, to the position you would want them to be, you have to select them, go to move, and then the system would ask you where you would like to move it to. I want to move it to the front, actually we'll move it to the second page here. So we'll move it in between pages 1 and 2. So I'll pick that slot right there. It moves them there. Fine. Everything's good. Now, once I do that, I may want to delete a page. Oh. I just saw what happened. Okay. So what was happening, chat, is when I was going to delete a page, I was not thinking about them automatically selecting those 2 pages. So what happens is when you go to select pages again, they automatically select the last pages that you had selected, which can be a problem if you don't know that's what's happening. And I didn't know that was what's happening. So when I went to go delete the first page, I would hit that, and then I go to delete, not thinking about or not seeing and recognizing that I didn't select those 2 pages. The system selected them for me automatically because they were selected in the previous selection. So I didn't know that, and I was just going to delete, and it was deleting the 2 pages that I had copied and the page that I actually wanted to delete. So instead of just deleting 1 page, it would delete 3. That's an issue if you don't know that's going to happen. So I just realized what it was. As soon as you hit the selection thing, it selects the last pages that you selected. And if you don't want to select those, you have to go back and unselect them and then make the selection you want. I didn't know that. So just to point that out, I think that's an issue. I put feedback in for this. I didn't know that's what was happening, but still, in all, I don't think that should be happening. It shouldn't select what you have selected previously. Say you have a long document, right? Document with 30 pages. You won't see all 30 pages on this front page. And if you didn't know that it was selecting the last selection that you had selected and you want to go delete something, it's going to delete everything you had previously selected. And what if you didn't have that copied anywhere else? Right? Like what if those pages were the only copies of those pages? Now they're gone. And you didn't even know that they were gone because you didn't know that they were being selected along with your current selection. Yeah. So just know that if you make a selection in the pages view of your Boox product and you go back to do something else entirely different, it's going to select your previous selection by default, regardless if it's on that front page or not. So just keep that in mind. All right. So what else we got here in the eInk realm? I think we have I think that was it. The CrystalNib and my Boox delete notes issue. That made me mad as crap. Luckily, I was copying something from another notebook where I can go back and actually get it again. But if I was like moving something and had deleted a file or pages that I didn't know I had, that would have been a problem. Aaron says it's easier to just sort within the notebook. Sort within the notebook. Sort within the notebook. Explain that, Aaron. The Rock says potential issue with the new Boox beta. Do you use pen? Yeah, I do use the pen. It seems like if you hit the power button while sleeping, it takes a while to get to the pen page, or sometimes you need to press power more than once. What device are we talking about? Is this on the Note Air 4C? Because I think I've experienced that there, but not on the Go 10.3 here. All right, last thing we got up here, we're going to talk about some maker stuff. So let's talk about the the print ejector, if that's a thing. All right, if you're into 3D printing, and that's what this segment is basically about here, resin and filament 3D printing. If you're into that kind of thing, there is something that looks totally ridiculous, but I wanted to show it on live anyway. It's a new auto ejection tool for Bamboo Labs printers or print farms, automatically ejecting finished 3D prints from the machine. It's $129 for the kit. That includes the door opener and a special bed surface for frictionless part ejection. Yeah, let's take a look at this, shall we? Yeah, I don't know, chat. I'm not sold on that. I don't know if I want my prints ejected in that manner. That didn't look safe. That didn't look safe at all. Am I wrong? Can I be wrong about that? That did not look safe, chat. It is just my Go 10.3. Oh, I haven't experienced it on the Go 10.3, The Rock, and I have the new update too. Aaron says, I meant insert the new page inside a new notebook instead of copy. Instead of copy to, use insert. Yeah, but I think the selection would still be the same. I think your selections would still be selected if you hit the selection button. Like if you wanted to select multiple pages and you hit that button to select multiple pages, I think it would still revert to whatever you had selected previously once you go to insert. I could be wrong about that. I'll try that. It's for folks with printer farms making large things that want to do runs. Yeah. I could get that printer farm logic to where you're just trying to get a bunch of prints made and you don't care about anything happening to them. Yeah, that's crazy though. That is crazy. All right, let's talk about Chitubox. So basically, my experience has been through Chitubox. I learned some things last night with 3D printing, and one of the things I learned about the 3D printing for resin is that, I've never tried this, and I think I knew this with my filament printer. I just never tried it. They print so fast that it's not worth almost doing. But resin prints take a while, and because they take a while, I've been testing my prints one print at a time. And if you know about resin printings, especially if you're printing something super small, the resin prints can take hours. Like it's a 2-hour print for my nib sheath, and with each iteration, I have to wait 2 hours to see what I need to do to change settings, or maybe I need to go back to the drawing board with my model. I think The Rock may have mentioned that when I was talking about adjusting the tolerances in the slicer, right? So you can adjust the tolerances in the slicer to adjust the sizing and the fit of your model. Again, if I can't get the settings dialed in, then I'm going back to the drawing board with my model. But I would rather get the settings dialed in than change the dimensions of my model, because those dimensions are dialed in and they're correct. They're just not being printed correctly. So I'm hoping this is something I can fix in the settings. But I've been printing one iteration at a time, looking at it, changing a setting, having to wait 2 hours, looking at it, washing it, curing it, having to wait another 2 hours. So the whole process is about a 3-hour process per iteration. And if you're doing one per iteration for every 3 hours, that takes forever. So I can only get a couple of iterations done a day. On a day when I'm really busting them out. On a normal day, I probably get one or none. So, but last night I broke down and I realized that the pro version of Chitubox would allow you to run multiple prints with multiple different parameters. So as an example here, so what you can do is, can I go in? Yeah. So what you can do is I got a print here, I got a print here, I got a print here, and these are all on the same build plate, right? And I got a print here, whoops, print here, a print here, and a print here. Now, I can make this print have parameter X. I can make this print here have parameter Y, parameter Z, parameter A, B, and C. All of these are different parameters, and each one of these has a different parameter that I'm going to test. So I can test out 6 different iterations or more at one time. So versus having one iteration take 3 hours, this process would take 3 hours, and I would have done the work of, what we got here? 3 times 6, 18 hours. This is almost a full day of printing I could have gotten done in just 3 hours. And if you're me, this printing process is, you can probably only get, like I said, 3 of these iterations done in a day. So, but you have to pay for that, which brings me to my problem. Like in the Bamboo Slicer, which is free with it's free software that works with the printer that you buy, right? That's offered by the maker of the printer, and I think that's an offshoot of Persia Slicer. But the point is, it's free. And it's like, why do they charge you for features that's going to make your life easier when everyone else is, not everyone maybe, but most other companies are giving it to you for free? And I'm like, so I had to go and pay for the pro version of Chitubox just to get the ability to test, like I said, multiple different prints with multiple different parameters on the same plate. And that is going to save me tons of time. And I was kicking my own butt last night when I realized I can do that, but I hadn't thought of it because it's not a feature that's in the free version. So there you go. So that's my gripe for the day. It's like everything is going subscription, and even with companies who are offering like software that everyone else is offering, they're locking people out. So now I also understand why people were upset a while back when I was doing a live stream talking about 3D resin printers before I had gotten a resin printer. eInk was upset about, I think, or maybe it was someone else. It may have been eInk that was upset about Chitubox locking or Elegu locking people out of using other software with their printers. And I understand why that's the case now, because they want to lock you into that pro version that gives you all the tools. And if you can just use Persia Slicer, which is free, or any other free slicer, then you're not paying them for those features that everybody else offers for free. So that would, and now I didn't understand that at the time, and because I just wasn't into 3D printing that big. But now that I'm more into 3D printing, I understand that whole mechanism of locking people out of using different software. It's because other people's software is free and theirs costs money. All right, let's go to the chat real quick. The Rock says, yeah, do the sizing variations in CAD. Don't pay Bamboo for nonsense features. Well, Bamboo isn't charging. It's Chitubox, and I think Chitubox is the software that's native to the Elegu brand. I could be wrong about that. Like I said, I'm still fairly new to 3D printing, but I think Chitubox is the brand for Elegu. And they're the ones, the Chitubox is the one who charged you for Chitubox Pro, which I think is just crap, just crap. And the only reason I don't want to change my models yet is because I'm like, I don't want to go back into CAD, but I will if I have to. I will if I have to. All right, everyone, that's going to be it for the live show today. I appreciate everyone for joining me. Every day or every weekday from 10 a.m. to kind of whenever we do tech news topics, we do eInk news topics, and we do like maker topics like CNC machines, 3D printing, things like that. And if you like that kind of information, come join us in the morning, 10 a.m. So like I said, kind of whenever. We also have a Discord that you can join us in after the live, or if you want to talk about some things or bring up some topics that we haven't talked about, you can throw those in the Discord. The link is in the description down below. And what else? Like, subscribe if you want to see more. Those kind of things. The Rock says in the chat, like, I don't even know if my filament slicer can do part specific tolerances. I just do it in CAD. Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to make multiple models if I don't have to, but I will. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be looking at that ChatGPT 5 thing a little bit later today. Until tomorrow, you guys, take care.